Hello, welcome to the month of November. I'm going to be just giving a general energy report for the whole month for everybody for this first video. So this is the November energy, for lack of a better way to describe it. As we come into November, we're starting Mercury Retrograde. And there's a lot of superstitious stuff you'll see around Mercury Retrograde explanations. Sometimes it plays out as true, and a lot of the time it doesn't. But basically, Mercury is our planet of communication, and Mercury is also the only one of the gods that goes from the upper world and down into the underworld and comes back again. And that's why he is the messenger god. So really what it's doing with Mercury is it's sending us from one place in our lives into the shadow, into the dark side, into the hidden, and back again. So when it retrogrades, it's sort of pushing us to go deeper, to introspect more, to maybe you need more time alone to think. Maybe your mind is just busy processing other things, and it's harder to do daily chores, daily calculations. And that's why there's this superstition that, well, don't sign any papers, and, be careful with your computer and all that. Misunderstandings, because when your consciousness, when your attention is focused on your inner life or your emotions, you're literally in a different part of your brain than you are when you're adding up data or reading something, memorizing something. And generally when we are functioning and on and productive by our society standards, we're very much in that one side of the brain that's supposed to be logical, fast, linear, detail-oriented, and really sort of skimming over or denying the emotions or the other vibrations that are present alongside it. And so when Mercury retrogrades, it sort of gives us an opportunity to touch those other feelings, those other energies, the context, the deeper matter of what's going on. And that's why you don't have the brain power to be in both states of mind at once, and why we have to be careful of our communications at that time. Think of any time that you've been really tired or emotional, or something really big happened in your life that required all of your mental and emotional energy to go towards that. I'm sure you weren't super productive or doing, a backlog of taxes or looking over legal papers or had an instruction manual while you're in that state of mind, right? You're just going to be, this is too hard, right? Because all of your energy and brain power is in a different center of the brain at that time. So it's very easy then, when we're in our own world and we're maybe back in the past somewhere, days like, if you can see out the window, these rainy, witchy days might put you in a more nostalgic state of mind. Maybe you remember something from years ago, and a person or a place or an incident is just on your mind all day. So you're not in the present moment, but it's still very important work to process the things from the past. It can alleviate a lot of tension and energy in your body and in your spirit. So it's valid, but it's easy then to say things that aren't quite coherent, that aren't as well thought out, that aren't timely. And this is where some of this Mercury retrograde mythology comes from too. So we have it retrograding also in Scorpio, making it even more so, the deep diving, emotional, deep work. So it's an excellent time then for meditation, for reading anything that brings you deeper on your spiritual path or requires a lot of pondering. It's a good time for anything to do with therapy, and anything to do with psychology, anything to deepen your spiritual practices, including deepening your intuition or the trust of your abilities. So that's going to color the month. You know, there's an introspective feeling in the air. There's also like a pressure buildup starting, and I think it's going to culminate sometime in the winter. But for now, it's like, it's hard to sort of put an analogy to it, but it's sort of like, to me, it feels like if you're fine where you are, but you're aware that there's something intense going on, like in the neighbor's house. So it's like sort of where you can hear it a bit and perceive it sometimes, but you can still tune it out if you want to. That's the kind of energy I'm getting for November, that we're sort of feeling a pressure or a backlog or a build-up towards something, but we can still sort of be busy, keep it at bay. There's so many holidays at this time of year that can distract us from that as well. But I'm feeling that this buildup is going to be over the winter time of 2020, a turning point time for a lot of people, meaning they can make some major decisions. And when anybody makes a major decision in a group, a family, a company, a city, you know, whether this is politicians doing it or whether this is your parents or whether this is you or your boss, the domino effect happens and things get all rearranged, and, you know, feathers get ruffled and dust settles and other people are happier, and it's just lots of change, lots and lots of change. So it's a time then with this Mercury retrograde to really be honest with yourself. Like, what do you feel is building? What do you feel like? What would you say if I asked you, is there something that is building up inside, or that you feel you've been avoiding or sort of running from a little bit? And what do you know that is? What do you need to slow down and stop and look at it and face it and do something about it? Because the sooner we can turn around and admit that and start the process, the less potentially surprising or shocking this 2020 year will be. So it's challenging all of us to get really, really honest with ourselves this month. And with those planets in Scorpio and the retrograding, it might be a little easier than usual to admit to yourself, oh, yeah, I am not really happy where I am. I'm dissatisfied with this. Right, I've been avoiding taking care of myself in this way. And you know, those moments of self-honesty when you can really step back and decide and make the change and put it into action, not just, oh yeah, I remember it, and then off you go, distracted again. It's more this energy of really taking it in deeply, sitting with it, being honest, and actually turning a corner. The sooner you can try to do that for yourself and be honest, the better your month and your 2020 is going to go. Because 2020 is also going to be like, I feel, a very fast-moving year for those who are ready to jump on board with it. So if you're ready to let go and make changes and say, yeah, this is what I want, that I don't, this I like, that I don't, I know myself, this doesn't fit with me, the quicker you can do that, the more momentum your whole year is going to have. There'll be opportunities. If you stay stuck, it's going to feel, I think, even more stuck in 2020 for those people who are resisting. So try to use this energy of November to really begin to be honest about what you need to do to change your life and start moving towards it. I'm going to pull just 3 cards like usual for just the month of November and see if it gives me any added details. So I'm just shuffling now. All right. So we have the Eight of Cups. We have the Two of Swords. And we have the Princess of Cups. So the Eight of Swords is can be a very depression related card. You might feel like giving up, or like you don't feel connected to the world or to people that you would like to be. That could be in general. I'm hoping for you it's not, but it can be. Or it could be just admitting that you're just not fitting somewhere, or you're disappointed, depressed about things on an emotional level. And usually this card means that you're sort of feeling so tired of emotionally that you're inclined to go, oh well, don't care, I don't care, no, I'm fine, doesn't matter. You know, when anybody watching would go, no, you're not fine, and it does matter. But you're at this point, you know, you might be at this point of apathy. Now, the good news is the Two of Swords, peace. This would mean dialogue. Talk about things with people. Don't keep things to yourself too much. And it's the Moon in Libra card. It wants things to be fair. It wants to please. It wants things to be pleasant, to be beautiful. So you could focus on that in so many ways to help yourself out of a rut if you're in that. Go back to whatever things inspire you, beautiful, anything that you find beautiful, any ideas that make you excited, music that you know brings you into a certain good mood, movies that you love. Watch your favorite movies again. Bring back that feeling of harmony, of balance, of beauty to your life. If you're waiting for it from other people, it might not come vis-a-vis other people right away, but it can certainly start with us, by surrounding yourself with harmony and beauty and intellectual stimulation, just on your own right. And the Princess of Cups sort of means to me that you might need to feel like you're a bit in your own little bubble. She's very sensitive, and she can be a little withdrawn or introverted if she doesn't feel good, feel right, or comfortable where she is. But she's good to have her own time. She's good in her own space. She can stay alone and be happy with her solitude. And but she loves the people around her, and she loves her animals. She loves kids, and she might have also a very intuitive, creative side to her. So overall, to add to the other things that I previously said, I would also just add then that just ask yourself whether you need to sort of pull back a little and give yourself a little space, a little sanctuary, a little, the proverbial me time. Make sure you're actually taking it. Me time doesn't work if you're still on the phone or on Facebook or distracted or allowing people to interrupt it, or if you're physically uncomfortable in it. You have to create an actual sanctuary that feels balanced and lovely to you. That's the Moon in Libra. Good food, the colors that you like, the sounds, the smells that you like. That we always have some control over. It doesn't have to cost a fortune. It's not talking about renovating your whole house. It's talking about maybe bringing fresh flowers into the house. That doesn't take that much. You can go to any place and just buy a piece of fabric or a tablecloth or a couch cover or something that suddenly a new color just lights up, changes your room, lifts your mood. And the Princess of Cups can be nostalgic too. So once again, like, bring back maybe some of the music or the movies or the books that you used to love. Like, go back to a time when you know you were feeling really good in your skin, a good time in your life, a happy chapter, and go back and revisit and relive and listen or reread what you did during that happy period, and bring that energy inwards. Because a lot of people are going to be in this sort of Scorpio Mercury retrograde funk. And so it's good that we are prepared to enjoy and spend a little time on our own, as well as talking to people when you can, but it's balancing that out and allowing some downtime. Everyone's going to need it, and everybody might be a little more moody, shall we say. Sorry, we just started to get this torrential rain that they've predicted. It's started, so let the rain wash away anything that's bothering us, and we'll make some good decisions, and we'll start off right in the new year. All right, stay tuned for your own sign videos.